See, I'm good, man. I can figure it out. All right, let's do it. Ah, Curtis, what's up, my man?
Doing good, brother. Doing good, Sam. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Hey, no problem, bro. So look, just gonna basically shoot from the hip. Um, this is my first time doing this. Well, everybody's doing this now, so might as well just do it now. But just want to recap a little bit. Just state who you are. Just things that you're into. We talked earlier, last week or this week, and you were saying all the stuff that you were into with your neighborhood projects, everything. So just tell the people who you are, where you're from, and everything that you're doing.
Got you. All right, my name is Curtis Williams. Born and raised in West Philly. I've known Sam for some years now. We were co-workers at a very uppity Republican.
You gotta say that name. You ain't gotta say your name.
Yeah, no. I didn't say anything. I wasn't going to say any names. I was going to just name. I was just giving descriptions of the. Anywho, we worked at this, a swanky social club per se, here in the city. Me and him managed to have some nice conversations, even though we weren't in the same department. We used to have some in-depth conversations. Like I said, born and raised in West Philadelphia, youngest of five. Been active in the community, in the Black community, for years now. But recently, over the past 15 months, I've been able to build an organization from the ground up. Revolutionary Vision. Gotta plug in Revolutionary Vision, man.
So that's cool. So you got merch?
We do. We have shirts and sweatshirts and whatnot. All proceeds, 100% of proceeds go right back into the organization, whether it's for paying rent, utilities, towards programs, towards the upkeep of the facility. It's a 3-story building that we're renting out in West Philadelphia. And
three stories?
It's a 3-story building. It's a ground floor, second floor, and a third floor that we're operating out of. And when it needed some TLC, but we've been utilizing.
That's cool, man. Exactly. Yeah, that's so. Well, y'all, this Curtis, man. I'm gonna have all his stuff in the bio. Once I, bring this. Once everything's done, with the editing process and graphics and everything's gonna be added to it. Everything's gonna be uploaded to YouTube, Instagram. I'm sure Curtis, you can do whatever you want. Once we're done, I'll send you the finished copy. You do whatever you want with it. Send it to China, to all the many countries you've been to. You send it anywhere you want. And
not China, motherland, Tanzania, Ethiopia.
Tanzania, exactly. Send it to all of them. Subtitles included.
Exactly.
You got it. So, man, there's so much to talk about, man. I like all this stuff that we were talking about before, especially within the Black community right now. And I'm just gonna shoot straight from the hip. I'm just gonna tell like it is. It's not good. It's not good. Even though we have our slowdown moments, and we have times where it's not so bad, but then it gets bad. And then there's times where it's like it's really, really good, but then it gets really, really bad real fast. And that's just like all over. It's not just, the Black neighborhoods, some white neighborhoods, Hispanic neighborhoods. It's everywhere. But me and you being Black, per se,
we got to focus
on our own communities.
Facts.
That's what needs. That's the keynote factor in all Black people. I think that, we definitely, as Black men, we need to concentrate on raising Black boys and Black women, Black girls, to be pretty much the best version of themselves as Black men and Black women. And with that, we need the help of Black women as well. You know, it's such a, I mean, you could call it being raised by a village, you call it being raised, you call it really whatever you want, but we need to start doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's at the point where it's a sense of urgency because we're going to wake up one day and we're not going to have another generation, or the next generation after this is just going to be completely stupefied or completely sunk in. They're not going to even have a chance. They're not even going to have a first chance. So, you know, you were saying a lot of things about it. I just want to pick your brain too about what could be done more by Black people in various neighborhoods, especially within the urban communities. What do you think they can do more to put themselves in position in government and or politics to make what they want happen within their neighborhoods?
Gosh, you for starters, you know, everything you spoke about is real. About, you know, the future generations of our people. You know, I'm gonna try to stay concise and on topic. There's a lot of issues within our community, and it's nothing new. This is generational curses that have been passed down, you know, from one era to the next, and no one has addressed it. You know, no one addresses, you know, the fact that we are a group of people that were programmed to pretty much hate ourselves. Like in grade school, they don't talk about self-hate. They don't talk about how, you know, about all the images and imagery, you know, African Americans have been shown, all the, you know, minstrel shows and whatnot that have been created, you know, to make a mockery of our people and whatnot. And mind you, we were people that were subjugated and that were programmed to look up to the people who subjugated us as, you know, as the end all be all. So now we have in 2021, you still have a large portion of our people that have even, you know, we've been free, you know, we have the ability to do a bunch of different things. But as Marcus Garvey stated, you know, when it pertaining to what European colonialists did to our people in this country, you know, slavery was wicked. You know, we could talk about all the physical torture that we went through, but that wasn't the end all be all. It was the mental. It was the mental. We were programmed, like I said, to look up to white people as deities, and like I said, right now as we speak, you have Black people who don't even know it, but subconsciously they live their life doing things that white supremacy wants you to do. You know, years ago, you know, like in minstrel shows, we were called stupid, and you know, mind you, we weren't. It was illegal for us to learn how to read.
Right.
So that's generational. We don't want to read. We don't want to learn, like, you know, comedians. Everybody jokes, if you know, if you want to hide something from a Black person, put it in the book.
Put it in the book.
You know, you have that aspect. But then, like I said, we were called savages back in the day. And what do we call ourselves now? Savages. Like
Right.
we've embraced all of the negative connotations that were bestowed upon us by the same people who subjugated and oppressed us. And now that has become our normalcy. Like, as I love my people, I love the decencies within our culture, but unfortunately, there within the culture you have subcultures, right? And right now, the biggest portion, a large portion of Black culture, is inner city, you know, hood culture, you know,
Right.
and this is a reality. And then I always tell people, I'm talking to people, you know, Black people live all over America, but the reality is this, Sam: most Black Americans reside where? In cities, inner cities. Literally last time I checked, I think it was like over 60% of the Black population resides in major cities across this country, whether it's Chicago, whether it's New York, whether it's Philadelphia, Baltimore, Detroit, LA, Atlanta. The list goes on. You know, we're in the inner cities, and if you look at the culture within the inner cities and whatnot, like, yeah, we're not doing good. Like, prime example, we were talking about, you know, my community work. I have Revolutionary Vision, nonprofit community organization. And organizations that I operate back in the day, if this was the 60s or 70s, we would be getting tons of funding from who? From the Black community. you may know this, some people may not know this.
Right.
Most of the funding that came to Black organizations like I operate, like, or that funded movements like the civil rights movement, the funding that funded, the money that funded movements like the Black Power movement, it came from nuclear Black families, Black father, Black mother, Black children. They were literally funding Black organizations and movements. What's going on in the Black community right now? The Black family is devastated.
Right. You're right. The Black family, and that's, I'm glad you honed in on that, because not only is the Black nuclear family is decimated, it's almost like it never existed. Like,
well,
we're at that point now. We're at that point where you have 18-year-old Black girls. I mean, they're getting younger and younger. It's like it's literally an epidemic where you see more baby moms than wives. Okay, and you see, and the thing about it, a Black woman challenged me on this, and I told her, it can't be more. It can't be just as many baby moms as it is baby dads, because see, me and you, exactly, and so that blame game shit, that's got to stop, because
you had one. Wait, allow me to interject. So I don't, because this is reality. I think I told you before. When it comes to issues within our community, it's 50-50. I solely put I fit our issues on the Black men and the Black women. But pertaining to what you just said, about baby mamas, that's a fact. You could have one dude that may have 6 to 7 kids,
10,
5 different women per se, and is it because of I can't, me personally, I cannot. I struggle to understand the logic and the reason behind it. But this isn't once again, this is nothing new. It's on because you stated that it's you said the Black family is becoming non-existent, and stuff is getting worse. But I'm gonna go back to the advent of social welfare in this country, late 70s, early 80s, and the studies show even then, you had some men that were damaged psychologically. It's reality. Black men, we have a lot of burdens. We're told by white people what manhood should be. We don't even know what it. We struggle to the concept of what it means to be a man, right?
Right.
So we have a portion of us that don't really care. They go out there, have sex with a chick, knock her up. Nah, I'm cool, and on to the next, right? Now you have social welfare. Now you're telling Black women, hey, listen, if the dude ain't there, you don't need him. We'll give you benefits anyway.
Right.
Which creates that avenue for a dude to just be like, man, F it. If I knock her up, man, she'd be all right. She can get government assistance, and I don't have to take care of my responsibility.
And that is a real attitude. That's
There's a documentary. Well, one more thing. There's a documentary called I'm not sure if I referenced it. This came out in 1986 when I was 2 years old. You can find it on YouTube. Anybody that wants to look it up, just search for The Vanishing Family: Crisis in Black America. That is a close to 2-hour documentary that even saying if you haven't seen it, whenever you get the time, check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna look everything we talk about. I'm gonna put all this in the bio. Like, I'm gonna go through this again, and I'm gonna look for the keynote thing. So, cause see, you're more grounded in this kind of information. This is why, people we need to be on this level, like where you're at, because because knowing you for as long as I did, you're one of the only few guys that I know personally that's never, you've always stayed consistent with your mentality.
Thank you. I appreciate
you never
that.
wavered. You never you really stick to your guns. And that's what we need to do. Like, ever since I've started this whole YouTube thing and talking to people, like me personally, I used to have a real hard time accepting criticism. I used to tell my look, my boy, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm good. I mean, you can go kick rocks. But I'm seeing myself through this whole thing, and I'm like, you know what, Sam? You got to shut up and listen sometimes because you don't know everything. It's not possible for one person to know it all, but it is possible for one person to learn it all.
A wise man. A wise man. There's a quote from I'm not even give this dude credit because he probably stole it from East Africa somewhere. But it's one. But I'm gonna say
recycle. Everything's recycled.
Socrates. There's a quote from Socrates, and it states that the wise man in me knows that I truly know nothing, and for any man that claims they know everything, truly knows nothing at all. That's a part of life. Benjamin Franklin said it. Everybody is born into this world ignorant, right? You don't know. Everybody's born ignorant, but you have to work hard to stay that way. And that's the reality. You have too many people that don't want to learn. We don't, and especially pertaining to our people, bro, we don't know shit from Shinola pertaining to our history, right? So if you don't know your true history, because mind you, Black people, we think it's just slavery, destitution, and whatnot. Yeah, unfortunately, that is a portion of our history, but it's not the end all, be all. And if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. You're doomed to repeat it, and that's real. Like what you see going on within the inner cities and whatnot, we see a lot of violence, especially right here in our city and whatnot. In Philly, it's a travesty, man. What's going on with these young kids? Every time I go on social media, like No Gun Zone or whatever it may be, 18-year-old shot, murdered, 19-year-old shot, critical condition.
That Citizens App, man. That Citizens App is just.
I had it downloaded, right, but I canceled that shit.
I'm about to cancel it myself because it builds so much. It builds an anxiety where your anxiety levels should probably never be there as a human being, because then you're thinking, yo, shit is just happening all around. Like I can still carry. So I'm pretty sure one of them Citizens Acts was for me. Black man brandishing weapon. And I've seen it's in my vicinity. And like not yet confirmed. And I sat there, I was like, shit. And I pull my shirt down over it. So it's like, but I'll see it like later. I was like, I thought that was me. Like I was just in this area. So it was like, but though, it's like I mean, I get that part, and I think that right now, just to go back to the question, how can Black people assert themselves more in politics, more in government,
Okay.
And I think we're definitely getting there. We're definitely getting there.
So to answer that question specifically, personally, I'm not a fan of just throwing Black people into politics. History shows, once again, on history, just because Black people are involved in politics does not mean it's going to work well for Black folk. Look at in this city right now. We have 17 city council members saying, right? 17 city council members total. Out of the 17 city council members, 11 of them are Black, right? What are they doing for the city, right? I am a person that's politically active and I'm involved. But personally, I know that politics is just a fraction of issues that need to get addressed. But we cannot get the politics until we have a mental understanding of who we are and what we need to do, uniting and starting, and creating a financial base, an economic base, and then we can go into politics. You see where I'm at right now? We get ourselves together mentally, then get ourselves together economically. Then we can get ourselves together, government-wise, political-wise. Because at the end of the day, just going out there and trying to vote for a Black man just to get him in the office, if you don't do your due diligence, 9 times out of 10, that brother is already in the pocket of somebody. That's how that goes. I just said we had 11 city council members in this city who are Black. I'm not going to say no names that are bad, but I can name one who I know was awesome, and that's Isaiah Thomas. Councilman, he's a councilman at large. He doesn't have a district. But with that being said, He's a thorough brother. He's one of the top educators at the Sankofa Freedom Academy here in Philadelphia. He's also a stellar basketball coach as well. He also has a foundation.
Now, is this guy, is he based out of West Philly as well?
No, he's from like North Philly, Germantown area. That's where he's originally from.
I mean, like, this is information that we have to know about. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, because see, like, all right, so I think that it definitely needs to be promoted more in the Black communities, because let's face it, like, the only thing that's being promoted in the Black community is thottery.
Rap music, is that culture.
And
trapping, banging on the ops, taking, like you said, you said thottery.
Yeah, is that, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's a real word or not.
Nah, I mean, we Black, we make up words as we go along.
Thottery.
It's all of the negative stuff and
whatnot. It's a mix between harlotry and thoughts.
You said, what's the difference?
It's a mixture between harlotry and thought. So
we've gone too far down this rabbit hole, and it started off in the 80s and whatnot with the crack epidemic and whatnot, right? In flux with gang culture. And it's weird because Philadelphia is unique. We really don't have gangs here in the city, right? It's not like there's no Bloods, no Crips, no G's, but we got blocks. We got exactly like you got this block, like I remember growing up, we was 56 in LA and whatnot, 56 in Larchwood Ave and whatnot. Then around the corner, there was a group H&R when I shout out to all my guys from H&R or whatnot. Hazel and Robin Street and whatnot. Like, we mind you, it was blocks. But that's the point. There's a ton of blocks here in the city. So you have a bunch of little cliques. All it takes is for one little young boy to do something stupid, and now everything is just retaliation shooting. Everything. That's what I'm saying.
I remember growing up, it was that because I'm from Uptown, so I always remember.
You get money, you fly, you from Uptown, you get money. Oh, my bad, I'm damn.
Look, I mean, that's the culture for what it was. But I know I grew up, it was always Germantown against West Oak Lane, and like, hey, it got bloody. I mean, hell, and it's funny because like growing up, you just get inducted into that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a part of like the gang life I can concur with, because you do get inducted with it, because you do have kids out there that see you going to this block or they see you going to this neighborhood. Everybody get off the school bus, everybody get off the SEPTA bus. They see where you headed. Like, oh, well, he with them. You may not even be with you, but you are freaking like me. I'm a loner. I never claimed a damn crew.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I had to fight dudes from West Oak Lane. I had to fight dudes from the block over, Brickyard. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? My mom from Brickyard. It's like, wait a minute. I know you such and such son. And I was like,
I'm born and raised in Philly. I've yet to go to Brickyard. I remember I went to school with Cash from BY Brickyard. I'm like, I had no clue what it was.
It's a lot, man.
I'm not familiar with it. That's because that's like that part of the city and whatnot.
Right. And it's like, but I mean, it's such a the whole thing with the crews and everything, as entertaining as it is, and it is a sense of community. I will say that. It is because especially with people who didn't grow up with a mom and a dad, or a sensible mom and dad.
I'm gonna interject in that. I like what you said. You said it's a sense of community, but it isn't a community.
Hell no.
That's a bunch of that's a bunch of young men with no guidance. Mm-hmm. With like I said, unfortunately, a lot of them, some of them, may be coming from households within their own households. It may not be the best environment. So what they do, they go outside and try to link up with other individuals and whatnot, and that's how you form a little group. But that's more of a survival tactic than anything. You dig me? It's more of like, yo, you know what? I'm a loner, but I see these two guys over here, or these 3 or 4 guys over here. we from the same area per se. We got some things in common. You know what? Let me link up with these guys and whatnot. That's a survival instinct. Like I was talking to my wife about that. And then growing up in the hood is like, unfortunately, we do things, just to quote unquote survive. Whether it's dumbing yourself down to fit in, because unfortunately, within our community, intelligence is considered lame. It's not cool. You think it's not cool to be smart. It's not cool to know something. So, even myself and whatnot. I think earlier you talked about, I'm a genius, and I was joked around. I was like, I was tested at genius levels as a kid. But I remember growing up and whatnot, trying to fit in, trying to crush on this girl. I kind of augmented myself. I did. I augmented myself to fit in, so I wouldn't be outcast. So I wouldn't be looked at as a nerd. Like, you see me with these glasses. Now, this is probably the first time you see me with glasses. I wore contacts.
I never wore glasses a few times. I think I remember you wearing a few times, but maybe not.
Maybe no. At the league, I never. At the league, when I was
then maybe it's just what I'm seeing now. Then, and exactly. Then I'm thinking that you have glasses.
You probably see pictures. Notice you've seen pictures of me on social media.
That's all right. Well, that's probably what it is. Okay, I got
it. About like I remember in high school when I got contacts. I remember the first time, like watching how people reacted with me with minus the glasses, and I'm like, so all right, so I don't have that stigma as being the 4-eye guy and whatnot, which is like, because mind you, people see glasses and people all, our people, we think glasses mean you smart. Shit, like, no. That's a lot.
Because most of the dumb people I met, they blind too.
Exactly. So
I hear that. I mean, like, so I want to get into a little context here. Because definitely we like I said, we had like almost a 2-hour conversation.
Yes, sir.
Last week. And I just want to be like, so we can establish that, the Black community needs more impact in other, the Black people we need more impact in other areas of life, and that's what we need, because now I'm looking at it and I'm like, we're losing. We're losing. And it's not like, a lot of times we think we're winning when we see one Black business or 2 Black businesses. We're not there.
I want to jump in on that. I like that you brought that up. That's that false sense of, that's that false notion of representation. Like, you hear people say, we made it, man. Look how many Black millionaires they are. I mean, a lot of them are athletes, and you have some of those who are entrepreneurs. But, unfortunately, when we become wealthy or rich, we don't bring back others. We just like deuces, I want to the suburbs. We flee our people once we make money. And it's like I said, it's this false sense of, like I said, we of course we need more success stories, of course, but we need more success stories from people that are actually trying to help our people per se. Because at the end of the day, like I said, we in Philly, right? Who's from Philly? We got Kevin Hart, got Will Smith. Those 2 alone are worth close to $1 billion, and I don't even count people's monies. And then once again, and I'm gonna say this for straight up, I'm a firm believer that we need to do for self. I'm not the type of person like others need to help us out. No, we need to do for self, because
a lot of these guys. So that's what I'm saying. So celebrities, that's a whole different field.
Gotcha. Exactly.
They're not just. And I'm not saying, like, I don't know these celebrities. That's why a lot of times, like, a lot of people, when I'm talking to people, I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying, like, when I'm talking to people, they tend to throw in names like LeBron James is doing this, or LeBron James is that, or Oprah Winfrey, or But I'm like, look, their money doesn't come from Black people.
Yeah,
not from Black people.
Right.
Their money comes from their Caucasian constituents that are signing their checks. So when it comes down to it, they may do something for the Black community. They may, I think, but what's going to happen is it's going to be in lockstep with what they boss wants. You know,
they can't. They're so. It's a reality. Like I'm so happy that you said it. You did that right on the head. The fact that you have people that are, like I said, these entertainers, whatever it may be, their bread and butter ultimately comes from white people. So, and once again, this goes back to how we are programmed. Ultimately, subconsciously, we're programmed to not help our people out. But when it's connected to your bottom line, to your ducats, to your ends, to your bread, to your money, you're making money off of white people, and like let's say if 80% of your money comes from white folk, yeah, you're gonna make sure that you toe the line and you don't rock the boat and whatnot. Like my prime example, like Michael Jordan said years ago,
Republicans
Republicans
were
blah,
sneaky.
blah,
Yep,
blah,
Republicans were sneaky.
like so it was like right then and there, Mike was letting you know, like, hold up.
My check comes from these people, right?
These white folk.
These white folk.
These good old white folk.
So as much as I probably do, no, I'm just speaking because, like, I mean, The Last Dance was a phenomenal documentary. I love it. I watched it like twice.
Entertaining.
It was pretty good. I like it. Because the guy, freaking Michael Jordan, man. But the thing about it is like, and it's fine to admire another black man's skill or his skill for being a comedian or athlete or anything. But see, when we get into, fandom, fandom often blinds us from the truth as well. And I think that's a big problem with the black community as well. We tend to fandomize and we look up way too much to these celebrities.
I want to interject. I agree with everything you're just saying, but change the word. Not fandom, idolatry.
There it is. Idolatry. Right. Idolatry.
There's a big difference, bro. There's a big difference. I'm a fan of individuals. Like me and my wife, we had these conversations one night. Because I was like, I could be a fan of R. Kelly's music, but he ain't shit. But hear me out here. But he ain't shit. He was a pedophile. Fuck him. He ain't shit. But dude is talented, right? Now, mind you, I'm not a fan of R. Kelly's at all. I'm just trying to. That was horrible. All right, I'm trying to. All right, prime example.
I hear what you're saying. Wait. Hold on. Let's go back. Hold on. I'm gonna clean it up here. I'm gonna clean it up. As far as R. Kelly's concerned, I won't even say in his defense because I don't know that man, and I'm damn sure now on his legal team.
I do, bro. Dude, I'm older than you, right? I'm about 4 or 5 years. I ain't gonna hold you. I seen that nigga pissing on little girls and shit when I was in fucking high school. Yeah, and no one did nothing then. So
no one did nothing then. Yeah, exactly.
He was living foul for too long, and that shit. And he finally got.
Then Dave Chappelle said, but then Dave Chappelle, you know what?
I do stay. Let's stay on topic. Let's stay on topic. So wait, Pete.
We're gonna let all that out. We're gonna leave all that out.
Exactly.
But so, Pete, yes, say what you're gonna say.
Pertaining to being a fan, like I could be a fan of LeBron James and his athleticism, but the second I was so happy to have the father I had in my life. My dad broke down the difference between a fan and idolizing. When you idolize somebody, that's like, and I'm not the most religious person, but I know in the Bible, entire city was destroyed because of idolatry. When you idolize somebody, you no longer utilize discernment of that person's character or who they are and what they're doing. Whatever they're doing, they're fine with me. Well, I look at, you have, Beyonce's fan base, the Beehive. They idolize her. These random people have never met her a day in their life, but they will potentially kill somebody, take money out of somebody's pocket, or food off someone's table solely because, now I say this because they'll ruin people's businesses and ruin people's lives solely because they idolize this person. Beyonce is a human fucking being. She's very talented and entertaining, right? That's good and all. She's good. But guess what? You could be a fan of her music and a fan of her talent, but you don't have to idolize her. We live in a society right now, bro. Idolatry is at an all-time high, man. Seriously, it's crazy. Maybe it's because the advent of social media, so there's more different ways for little people to get in touch with these entertainers and celebrities, but no, it's bad right now. So yeah, so I get what you're saying, but it's not fandom, it's idolatry. Like I said, because I'm a fan of some people. Well, that's the thing. I'm objective. I'm not subjective.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. I can get down with it being idolatry, and that's probably a better word to use because it's definitely it puts the state of mind exactly where it needs to be. You know, we're not supposed to we're not supposed to idolize these celebrities because at the end of the day, they put on their pants one leg at a time, just like you, just like me. They got to sit down and take a shit.
Breathe air. If they get shot, you know, something bad gonna happen to them. Bleed blood.
So, like, you know, and it's like, you know, and I don't really care, you know what I mean, about when people say, well, you're just mad because I'm not mad. Like, I mean, we get, and that's another thing too. Like, when it comes to like hating, like, to me, the real meaning of hating is you're going out your way to get other people to stop doing something for somebody else. That's a true form of a hater.
You can have your opinion, but unfortunately, if your opinion disagrees with somebody else, you're a hater. Like if you think
that's not a hater. A hater, that's what like I just said, a true form of a hater is somebody that is going out their way to get other people to stop agreeing with this person, to stop, you know, to stop talking to this person or to stop funding this person. You're going out your way to advocate negativity on this particular person for these particular reasons. That's true hate. That's true hate. That's true hatred. Agreed. With me, I got an opinion. And if I think what you said is fucked up or fucking stupid, I'm going to say it. I don't care if you are liberal, libertarian, pro-black,
conservative, whatever you do.
Yo, if you say something fucking stupid, I'm calling you out on it because not only are you saying, because see, and that's another thing too. I want to get into.
Shit, though. But that's some hating shit. Who
exactly? But that's hating though.
Call somebody out on something, man. Who is like? That's the reaction that you'll get.
But what you mean though? Hold up, bro. See, this is why we can't. This is why us as black people we can't move forward. No, motherfucker, we can't move forward because of people like you.
In fact, exactly, man.
We can't move forward because see, you're so damn emotional. You can't even see the bullshit that's right in front of your face.
I'm happy that you brought up the word emotional. I just got finished having a conversation with somebody. I'm not sure if you saw the news recently. A black man was killed here in the city by a cop up in Northeast Philly. But that dude got shot by a cop.
Did you follow this story?
I followed the story. Not
okay. Then I'm gonna hear what you got to say about it, and then I'll just piggyback off of what you're saying.
It's a sad situation, but that's the end. That's the end game. I mean, when you shoot somebody in the face, you shoot somebody in the face, you flee the scene, and then you get out of the car, you shoot out with the cops. I mean, that's what happens and whatnot. I mean, like, but apparently it spawned because of a domestic dispute. Guy got into it with his lady, and somebody came to intervene into him and his lady situation and whatnot. And he shot Buddy in the face, the person that intervened with the domestic dispute. One thing about my people, I love my people, but we lack emotional intelligence. That's something that just documented, you to pinpoint that. Emotional intelligence, seriously, emotional intelligence, it literally allows a person to, like me personally, I know what triggers me, right? Because I utilize emotional intelligence, right? So if I'm in a situation, right, I'm around some racist cracker and he's saying all types of shit and he calls me the N-word. Now, I could do one of two things, maybe one of three things. I'm saying one of three things. I could, the average, most black folk, what the fuck you say? And you can mash them, right? And
then right to jail.
Now you mashing on them, you get that temporary satisfaction of mashing on the cracker for calling you a nigger. But then reality kicks in, you just battery assaulted, and then depending on how depending on how much you whip that cracker's ass and whatnot, it could be attempted murder. Now your freedom is taken away from you because of a split second. So you can.
And not only did your freedom, and I'm gonna let you continue, but I want to interject this because see, I want people to understand why that N-word, that nigger, that hard R, nigger, yo, it's not that fucking bad. Okay. I mean, it is that bad, but it's worse on that racist motherfucker using that word against you. Because see, that motherfucker, that white woman, white man, they didn't have a first chance. Because whoever taught them to be like that, that happened as a child. It's 2021.
It's ingrained in them, bro.
It is ingrained. So see, you help yourself by, like you said, emotional intelligence. Let it kick in. Let it sit in. Be smart, because when you punch out or you stomp out this supposed racist white man, or you slap the hell out of this racist white woman, guess what? You go to jail and you get labeled as a black person that is emotionally disturbed.
Exactly. Angry. There's another angry black person, and mind you, but this is the reality though. We should be angry. Mm-hmm. We should be angry, but we gotta utilize emotional intelligence and direct that anger. So 3 reactions. Number 1, you can mash on the Kraken. It'll make you feel good. And it may go viral, you have a bunch of people on social media like, yeah, yo, you saw what the brother did. He mashed, they stomped that motherfucker in. But guess what? While everybody is clapping it up, and are they putting money on your books?
Nope.
Are they helping you out?
Nope.
Are they helping you get children out while you book? Lack of
emotion. Not eating ramen noodles from the commissary.
Exactly, eating chi-chis and shit, right? Mm. So dig this. So now you're number 2, which is something that I won't do. Either you could be, you know what, ignore them and just go about your merry way and whatnot. Now you could do that as well as taking the higher, route. I ain't gonna hold you. Just a little bit. I have a sharp tongue. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I'm very knowledgeable, right? So if I'm in that position, I've only had that happen to me once over a phone. I was like 19, 20 years old. Dude was like, this nigga can't find listening, hang up on me and whatnot. I had all this dude's personal information up there on the screen. I could have easily took a 4-hour trip across the state to Pittsburgh to check some cracker. But that was stupid, all because he called me on the phone. Well, so me personally said, with my knowledge, let me be somewhere and a white person call me a nigger. I'm looking around like, I'm a nigger. I'm like, okay, cracker. I'm literally insult him. I'm like, all right, Neanderthal, you fucking cave beast and whatnot. But that's why you got the monkey lips and whatnot. Because in reality, right, Caucasian people, I'm saying some raw shit. Caucasian people, they have the closest lineage to chimpanzees and right. And they called us monkeys for years, but our skin is melanated. Our skin is black. Chimps have white skin. They just have black hair.
It's just black hair all around them.
It's just black hair all over them. Right. So I was like, get out of here.
And guess what?
I would verbally say things to maybe get him to react. Because mind you, that's one thing about me. If you put your hands on me or you come towards me in a threatening manner, I have the right to defend myself.
Right.
So emotional intelligence, you could just snap on a motherfucker for the words that they use. They can, like I said, that can cost you your freedom. You could just take the high road and just walk away, or you could verbally assault them back calmly using whatever logic that you have up here, whatever knowledge that you have and whatnot. And 9 times out of 10, that white person is using and storm off. Or if they want to get bucked and they approach you in an aggressive manner, then you have a right to defend yourself. Then you have every right to mash on that motherfucker.
As soon as they invade your personal space, but not to let the conversation get too racialized, but the key thing is, when I uploaded my videos to YouTube, I got good feedback from people. I got some questionable things that people was like, well, what did you mean by that? What did you mean? And of course, the videos I posted and I did, that was to get conversation started. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I want to see who's going to get on record with me, and let's tackle this together, because the conversation is going to get started. I hear a lot of people, they talk about Kevin Samuels. They talk about
Kevin Samuels. Oh, God.
Exactly. And a lot of people, and I ain't hold you, I agree with a lot of things that he says. You know,
He say some shit. He just
he be saying some shit. You
some
know,
shit.
but
I don't follow him too tight, but
but that's what I'm saying though. But he's obviously talking from another perspective.
yeah.
He's older. He's lived through what 3 or 4 generations of black people. So at that point, yes, I will take what he said into consideration. You know what I mean? And being on the fact that he claims to have, he come from a home that he was raised by a single mother. But
Mm-hmm.
and
I didn't know this. I didn't know what type of household he's come from.
well, like I said, I've been listening to him for the past 2 months, and so
good to
I'm
hear.
doing a YouTube thing, so I got to keep track of what's out there.
Yeah.
What other people are saying, and there's a few YouTubers that I follow, and I don't even follow people that share my sentiments. And I think that's the best way to do it. There's a few Caucasian YouTubers that I follow. You know what I mean? Because see, and this is another thing that I want to get into with black people as well. We have a very hard time about being biased when it comes to information. When it comes to information and it's coming down the pipe, we tend to go like what we talk about. We tend to go the emotional route instead of the rational route.
Logical.
Logical. Right.
Think tank.
The logical route. We tend to make emotional decisions at all times, and that's not good. Emotional, I mean, we can pretty much guess how many black men are in prison for life because they decided to shoot the dude that's fucking their girl.
Now that I'm gonna real quick. That's something. There was a video that went viral from years ago. Where it was this dude, and somebody was recording it. Probably was that dude's homie, and he just got out of prison, I think. And his girl was messing with some dude. This dude is snapping. I'm not sure if you saw the video. He like buck swole, talking about something. I'm ready to go to jail. I killed for this pussy. Oh man, I gotta see if I got. This is an old video. It was like,
wait.
Like this dude,
What?
At the mouth. This buck dude, he like, I'm a real nigga. I killed this pussy, nigga. I die. Get the fuck out. And mind you, right, the dude has his child living there. Because mind you, the dude just came out of prison. So he telling the boy, get that fucking kid out. I killed that fucking kid. This dude is visceral, saying all of this to this dude, all because of this chick. And I'm like, I've never been the type of person, right, to get mad at a woman's decision, point blank, period. Meaning that if she wants to be with somebody, she cheated on you. It hurts. It hurts, right?
Yeah, you gonna feel sorry as you get for one.
There's 2 things you can do with that. There's 2 things you can. There's the 2 things that I would do in that situation.
Right.
Digest it. She cheated on me. Fucked up. Figure out the reasons why. Maybe it was something that I needed to work on. Maybe she was just foul. You come to the realization, it made a difference whether it was something that I needed to do or she was foul. You just move on. She made the choice. She made that decision. You just skate. Like I remember from hearing rap songs and even talking to actual pimps when everybody say women be choosing. They choose women. They are the ones that make the choice. They, like there's a saying pertaining to women and men and whatnot. Women get the men they choose. Men get the woman that we can catch.
There's truth to that.
That a lot.
Because not all men are able. It's only maybe about a good 10% of men, including financial stability, including resources availability.
What Kevin is saying when you say we call them high value men or whatnot.
That's fine, but that's like the 10% of men. And look, like I said, I would never throw shade on somebody. I mean, I don't give a shit. I mean, I know he could care less what the fuck I gotta say.
Exactly. Right.
So I'm gonna say
his whole, like I said, once again, Kevin Samuels he's a character too. There's a lot of characters. I think we talked about it. There's a lot of characters out there on social media.
He said it himself though, and you're right. He said it himself that I had to redefine myself to even do this YouTube platform.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? because he trashes all his old shit on YouTube. He was like, yo, that shit is whack. The shit I was doing before, that shit was whack.
He became a character. He became. That's why I don't follow him, right? But I know it's so funny. It drives my wife crazy when she like, how you know you be knowing about stuff like I be knowing about TV shows that I don't watch. That's just how I am and whatnot. Like I may not be.
You're intuitive.
But I'm exactly. I'm intuitive.
You're intuitive, yeah.
So with that being said, like based off,
and you got a mindset. Most men, I mean, like, because I'm the same way. I could talk about something. And it's like, oh shit, you were smart. I was like, no, it's just, it's not shocking to hear this shit.
Exactly.
It's not a shocker. And like, and a lot of people, like, I can listen to people like Kevin Samuels, and I can see why black women fucking hate his guts. You know what I mean? And I can see why brothers want to strangle him. But what he's saying is not a shocker to me.
But exactly, and this is the reality. Especially, this is something that I harp on, I stand on this A word, this A word that we no longer utilize in our community. It's called accountability.
Accountability. How about it?
Accountability. Like I said, whether he's a character or not, he does say a lot of stuff pertaining to holding people's feet to the fire, holding yourself accountable. You can't be a woman out here making poor choices in who you decide to procreate with, and then be mad at an entire gender of beings. But men ain't shit.
Mad at the men.
On the flip side of that, you can't be a man and decide to chase after a certain type of woman, the voluptuous video vixen type of woman, and mad that they gold digging hoes or whatever it may be. That's the type of woman that you wanted. You made that decision. So you have choices and decisions. Women make choices and men make decisions. And if you make poor choices and poor decisions, you're the one that's responsible for that. But once again, in our community, like I said, there's that A word, accountability. We want to deflect. Everybody and anybody is responsible for my poor choices. Everybody and anybody is responsible for my bad decisions. That's bullshit. So that's the only thing to a certain extent that I like Kevin Samuels is that accountability. He tries to put the mirror up to people, and that's one of the biggest issues especially within the black community. No one wants to see what the fuck we're doing wrong. I remember, I'll make it real quick. I remember my mother telling me a story years ago. It was like early 2000s, and she said she stopped, talking to young mothers and whatnot. She said so because she was on a bus and whatnot. She saw, a young lady, young mom, their child, and she tried to give her some advice. And she just like kind of cursed my mind. Now, mind your fucking business, and then you work. So right then and there, my mom was like, "You can't even say nothing to these new generation young people and parents, because if they think that they're being that they're being judged." Mind you, if I'm trying to help you, wow, if I see something you're doing wrong, I'm trying to help you out. I'm going to tell you what you're doing wrong. Now you have two things to do. You can either take that and say, "Fuck it, I don't care, mind your business," or you could be like, "You know what? I appreciate that. I'm gonna make this correction." That's called accountability, right? That's done. That's why I got the thumbs up. That's accountability. We don't want that. We don't want accountability. We don't want that. Nah, fuck, mind your business. That's another thing that permeates in our community. The mind your business culture. Mind your business. I've been hearing that for 20 plus years and back when I was
minding our business, and this is why we're where we at.
Yeah. Back when I was growing up,
minding their damn business.
I could not do, Sam, I look you dead in the face, bro. I couldn't do nothing on my block. If I did something wrong on my block or like in the immediate vicinity of where I lived at, somebody will tell my mama, and my mom and dad, they will come down. My mom will tell my dad, and I'm gonna get chastised. I'm gonna get
right.
I'm gonna get disciplined per se. And exactly. So that community, we don't have that no more because people are afraid to say something.
But that's what I'm saying though. We had, I don't know. I'm sorry if I cut you off.
No, you got. No, you good, bro.
Okay, so I want to just interject what you and I love everything you just said right there, because accountability. I mean, we could spend another 2 hours on accountability.
Oh, exactly.
Because it's something that's not being said. It's something that's being frowned upon. Because I believe that from what I see, because I'm out there every day. Like, I mean, I work like 3 different gigs. You know what I mean? So I'm always around people. I'm always talking to somebody. And from what I see in my daily comings and goings, is that Black men between the ages of 18 and 35, majority, they are trying. They are trying. And that's just from my experience. That's from my experience. They are trying. And I see the difference. Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem. It can't just be black men's fault. I'm gonna tell you why. It just can't be, because for one, you don't have Big Mama anymore. You know, you don't have the strict grandma, because nowadays the grandma is 45, 50 years old, and she's in the club too, twerking on guys half her age. So now, exactly. So, and like I said, I don't care how anybody feels when they hear this, it's the fucking truth. You got 50-year-old, 50, 60-year-old women in clubs, dance halls, twerking on men half their fucking age. But that's good. That's okay for the black woman image. No, that's what I'm saying though. Hear me out. But that's what I'm saying. That's okay for the black woman image. But see, if you see an older black man that's 50 years old, retired, got money, and he wants to spend money on a girl half his age, but he's treating her nice, supposedly that's inappropriate.
Yeah, I want to interject on that. I think that's like
you see what I'm saying though? But you see the
I could take that. I could go so many different ways.
Exactly. But I gave you the most common what we see. Well, at least what I see in the urban communities of black people. Because you see the older black women literally competing with the women, other black women half their age. And it's like, why are you trying to take a 25-year-old man from a 25-year-old woman when your ass is supposed to already be married and somewhere with your fucking grandkids?
Yeah, and it's like, it is crazy.
You know what I'm saying though?
So I think that's kind of like this new age thing of women. You know, I'm all for equality, right? I tell my wife this, right? But equality there's a difference between equality and balance. Now, me personally, I want people to hear this. Whoever watches this video, listen closely. And realistically, they're based off of genetics, based off of the makeup of male and female species, man and woman, because it's like man and woman. There will never be a quote unquote equality per se. Now, you can have social things that you can make sure that women are getting paid, the same as man, whatever it may be. But think about it. Just take it back 2,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago. Human being, mankind has been around forever and whatnot. There was roles. Men had roles, women had roles. There was a balance. You do what I'm saying? There's things that they can do that we can't do. There's things that we can do that they can't do. We're supposed to balance each other out.
It's supposed to be like that.
It's supposed to be like that, right? But now we have this era where you have women wanting to be like men. And this is nothing new. Like I said, I'm 36 years old.
It's penis.
It's a penis. Wait.
It's exactly what it is. Penis.
Hear me. You can say that. And I'm 36 years old. I remember me even when I was younger and watching, young girls behave like niggas and whatnot, curse you out, trying to fight dudes and whatnot. They think because we equal, I could do this, the XYZ, the mouth and whatnot. Like I be telling my wife, who I love her to death, she's not familiar with like the urban culture. So I'll be trying to explain to her that, a lot of the nuances of our sisters and whatnot, black women from inner cities, they rough. They just like dudes to a certain extent. That's not cool. So you try to effeminate the black man while you make the black woman masculine. So you have a lot of women distributing the behaviors of men. They think they want to be equal, so they think that it's cool to behave like men. Like for Christ's sake, you even had a movie who was what was that? Think like a man, act like a woman, whatever it means. You think like a man,
Yeah,
act
that
like a lady.
bullshit.
But,
Steve
but
Harvey.
hear me out. But Pete, right? That's not the truth. You have women that try to think like a man, even though unfortunately a lot of these women are growing up in households where they never had a father, so they never had somebody show them what a man actually is. So they have these false perceptions of what a man is.
Right.
Your perception of what a man is comes from what? The media, the music, and the crazy niggas that they interact with out on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
So in turn, they want to go out and act like these dudes, right? So you have men have been doing this forever. Men, older men, they've been, what's what I'm looking for? They court younger ladies, right?
Right.
That's just, this is nothing new. This is how it's always been, right? But
Right.
women think that, well, why the men do that? Why can't we do the same thing? Why can't I be like 56 years old, trying to get my swerve on with some young thing? You go right ahead, but that's not normal. Now you can try to force it and make it the normal, but that's not, they ain't having it.
I'm sorry. You go ahead. Go ahead. If you're done your thought, I didn't want to mess up your train.
No, I pretty much, like I said, I was just saying that it's kind of like I said, we live in this era where you have women wanting to a certain extent do what men do. They think that hey, it's if you think that if what men are doing is wrong, that's fine. But if you like,
but why are you trying to do it? Right.
Exactly.
It's a great inverse. You're right. And that's what I was trying to say. Like, I was going to interject right here because, and get back to what you were saying, women, they're literally walking around with a false perception of how they believe men are to be. And that's why you have a lot of, the butches, in the LGBT community. And it's like they are.
Penis envy is definitely heavy there.
The penis envy is like, I feel like I mean, I don't know. I just like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry I have a penis, but I was born with this. I was born a man. You can't have my testosterone. No, you cannot borrow my masculine energy. Get your own.
But see, they shouldn't want it, but that's another story.
That's the same. But here's the thing. And the masculine energy, especially in the Black woman, it's not a good look. It's just not a good look. It's not a good look for anyone. But since we're both Black, what I mean? And me, I'm a pro equal opportunist. Like, I like all kinds of women. You know what I mean? I've dated most different races of women. And
I have no problem with a sister that's outgoing. Like, I'm my wife and whatnot. She would tell you herself and whatnot. My wife is outgoing, active and whatnot, but she's in tune with her femininity. Like, my wife doesn't try to act.
That's the word. That's the word.
In tune with her femininity. My wife is not trying to act like a man. She's not trying to do. Me, like trying to. What's wrong looking for? I
A woman can be tough. A woman can be tough. They can be tough. Like my sister, my sister, like she
I got 2 tough sisters.
What's that?
I said I got 2 tough sisters, but they
exactly. I got 5 sisters. So one particular, she's like, yeah, there you go. I thought you knew that. I told you I got like.
I remember you told me you had a bunch of siblings. And you're the youngest, or are you the youngest?
I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle. I remember you told me you had a bunch of siblings.
Dude, I got. Well, look, it surprises every time I talk about with people. But yeah, I got 12 siblings. I got 5 sisters, and I got 7 brothers. All in all, 13. All in all, 13.
Gang.
My dad ain't had no chill, man.
gang.
But so to get back to my little sister, like, so she's married right now. She's married. She's got I think she'll kill me if I forget my niece's age. I think she's 6 or 7. I'm not sure.
You probably got so many nieces and nephews now.
Exactly. I'm like, but so it's her husband and her daughter, and she's happily married. She's as tough as they come. She owns probably more guns because she's military. She owns more guns. Yeah, Exactly. Yeah. So she's military. Her husband's military. My sister probably owns more guns than your average man.
She's better than you. She probably shoots better than you.
Oh yeah, she's. But look, she says I'm good though. So I was like, she's like, I'll feel safe with you. And I was like, all right, bet. You know what I mean? Good. But I'm pretty sure she shoots better than me. I'm positive. Actually, putting together a trip now to go down there and just go through like 2-hour shooting session with her. You know what I mean? So
where's she stationed at? Where is she at?
well, she's out of it now. She's in Texas right now, El Paso.
Oh wow, cool.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, one day soon, probably in the fall, when it gets a little cooler down there. You know what I mean? Make a trip down there, make a few days, trip out of it, And but just to get back to it, when it comes to tough women, I look at now all my sisters is tough, but I use her as an example because she actually was in the military. Like she actually got shot. You know what I mean? When she was in service, when she was overseas. And a woman, and so as much as she can load a gun, load up an AR, cock it back, take out grouping everything, and do whatever she got to do as a person to do what she's doing, she'll still throw some hills in a dress and let her hair down.
She's in tune with her femininity.
And she's very in touch with her femininity. So my thing is like, okay, what's wrong with that, ladies? You can be tough.
And it's funny, like I brought this up in our last conversation and whatnot. Like the woman, it's crazy like how our people went through crazier shit back in like the 70s and 60s and beyond, right? They had it together somewhat, but we have all the information and knowledge now, but we're more fucked up in the head. It's weird, y'all. It really is. But remember I told you, our women are the only people, Black women, African. I gotta sit up on this one.
Let's do it.
African American women are the only group of women on this planet that were, I can't even say programmed, but unfortunately, throughout the conditions that happened to our people here in this country, they had to be stronger than any woman on this planet. Because at any given moment, our women back over 100 plus years ago, even now to a certain extent, but over 100 plus years ago, their mate could have been sold, lynched, whatever it may have been, just like that. So they had to condition themselves to not rely on their male counterpart. There's no other group of people on this planet that you can say that about, bro. You can't. There's no other group of people that you can say that their woman had to be conditioned to not rely on their man. That's why there's always been this kind of power struggle within the Black community between man and a woman, solely because of that, right? And remember, I told you the Moynihan report. It kind of chronicles that as well.
Right, the Moynihan report. Right, I glanced over a little bit as I was.
It's a long read, bro. It's a long read. But I'm gonna try to see if I can send you the actual the excerpt from the report where they highlight.
Oh yeah, send it to me. Like I said, everything that you send me, it's going right in the bio. So we're just gonna be shooting from the hip, and whatever sticks out is going in the bio.
So let's go from 1866 to 1970, right? That's the era where you had Black people that.
So you're talking about the Moynihan report right now, right?
Well, I'm just talking about our people. Forget the report. This is just in general.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, spit your facts, man.
Between 1866 and 1970, like I said, all the hell we were going through from racial terrorism and oppression in this country and whatnot, communities being bombed, whatever it may have been, we were able to find a type of normalcy. We created a culture. We Black men and Black women, there were way more Black families back then than there is now. I'm talking about like 75+% of Black women were married.
Right.
I can't say if they're happily or not, but over 75% of Black women were married back then. Where it's now, it's what? Shit, I know it's less than 50. It's probably hovering around 40 to 35, maybe lower than that.
Married Black couples?
Yeah.
It's 30, it's most likely probably lower than 30.
So like I said, we were worse in that period of time. We were catching hell. And this is something that Kevin Samuels brought up a couple of times on the show, talking to some sisters. He was like, your grandma stuck by the black man and whatnot, and and they were going through hell and whatnot. So why do sisters today want to distance themselves from their male counterpart, right? And like I said, I can't. I
hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but I'm not saying you yourself by saying it is disingenuous, but the aspect of using that time frame with that mentality that the black woman was having, to where like their mates, their black men can be taken from them at any time. They're not going through that right now. So
I mean, now with that being said, very true. But mind you, once
that's
again,
what I mean. But that's what I'm.
But hear me out. That's conditioning. That's programming.
It's conditioning.
If you have over 100, so hear me out. So you have over.
All right.
If you have over 100 years, black woman bestowing this notion to their daughters: be independent. You got to do for self. Don't rely on a man for anything and whatnot. Because, mind you, once again, that's why I said initially, we're the only group of people on our planet where our women feel as though they cannot rely on their man solely because of everything that has taken place to us overall. So conditioning. So you have over a century of that going on. Now let's throw in the 1980s, right? Now you have welfare. Now the government is telling you, for years, you couldn't rely on the man, right? And you really don't need him. I got your back. Welfare. Take this government money. Section 8. Boom. Now you're really this is yourself and your man. That's what we're seeing now. So now what we're dealing with now, brother, this is the precipice of the I don't need to rely on the man. That's what we're dealing with.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. In a world that's been adjusted and readjusted for a woman to be able to live without a man, that doesn't necessarily mean you don't need a man.
Agree. Time out. Agree.
But that's what. Wait. Now, you got it.
I'll say one thing. Because right now, as we speak on social media, what's the biggest thing that you hear a lot of sisters be saying? We're not protected. We're the most unprotected.
Pick a lane.
And that is true. And to a certain extent, that is true. They're not protected.
Well, pick a lane, lady.
You put yourself in that position to a certain extent by for decade after decade shouting out, you don't need a man. This has been going on since the 1980s. Once again, since the injection, brothers, I'm gonna say this again, since the injection of social welfare into the black community, the late 70s, early 80s, you have this notion that our women really don't need a man, and whether it's in the music, and entertainment, whatever it may be, whatever images, you don't need a man. Look at even advertising and whatnot. Whenever they have a black mother, they don't show the father. It's just a black mom and a child and whatnot. They don't show a nuclear black family. So with that being said, that also helps spread the notion that, hey, black woman, you don't need a man. But obviously you do need your man if you're claiming that you're not protected.
Exactly. And when I was yelling, like, all right, yeah, I said, all right, pick a lane. Yes, pick a fucking lane. You can't be, strong, independent black woman and victim Chanel or some shit. You can't do that. Exactly. You can't be victim case zero and strong independent at the same time. You got to pick a lane. Either you want a strong look, it's funny because you hear this all the time now, and it's, to me, women want traditional men with modern day privileges.
So wait. Let me try to. You said they want traditional. I get what you're saying.
They want traditional men, but they want to be able.
Wait. I'm gonna interject. Because this is something that I've had a conversation with my wife and other women. We live in a society where different waves of feminism per se, and a lot of our sisters have jumped on that bandwagon, and it's this notion of breaking down gender roles. As a woman, I could do whatever I want to do. That's cool. But on the flip side, the same women that say that want to uphold the gender roles for men. So, me personally, so the mindset of a lot of these sisters out here, I don't got to cook. I don't need to be able. I don't need to know how to cook. All right, I don't need to know. I don't need to clean. I need to. I do whatever I want to do. I'm independent. And nobody shack me. I can do whatever I want to do. But on the flip side, as a man, you need to be able to. To do all the physical work, take out the trash. Someone gets broke. You gotta take care of the responsibilities of the house. Utilities and pay the mortgage and rent. So on one hand, you have a group of people saying that we want to break down the gender roles or to break down the roles for us, but we want to keep the roles for you. I told my wife when we living in this era, this era, I call it the era of the revenge of the woman. It's like, but it's revenge for no reason. It's like what is the revenge for? Yeah, it's like it's the revenge of the woman and whatnot. That's just me personally per se, but nah, it's reality.
It's a lot of it's so much, and like I said, we can be here all night talking about what's wrong with the damn. That's why when I did my 15-minute video, the dysfunction of the Black community, I just said 3 key points, and I said, look, let's open the conversation. You know what I mean?
But me doing the community work that I do with the knowledge that I have, seeing it on a regular basis.
That's what needs. See what you're doing. That needs to happen on a more grand scale.
But it's not cool. It's not cool. It has to be made cool.
No, it's not. You can't even.
Have like the
entertainment look cool.
This is the reality. As much as I despise entertainers and whatnot, and we do need to do for self, but they do have one thing: they control the wave. Until in the Black community, we create a new wave of promoting positivity. Right now we promote toxicity, toxic living, toxic lifestyle. You see it all social media and whatnot. Toxic. We embrace toxicity. What? A wise man, who is this? Hold on, let me get this. Dr. Amos Wilson, which is a person that you need to look up. I told you I mentioned.
What's her name?
His name, Dr. Amos Wilson.
Amos Wilson, okay.
Dr. Amos Wilson spoke about how every group of people on this planet has a culture.
Mm-hmm.
And their culture, what they do is conducive and it benefits their people. Whenever this culture no longer serves their people, they dismantle it. And they create a new culture. And he referenced European Jews. During World War II, there was a slew of Nazi soldiers that were raping European, German Jewish women and knocking them up.
Right.
For forever, Jewish notion in their community, their culture was the man, the seed, whatever the man is, whatever the children, they take after the husband and whatnot, it's the seed. So the children are of their father, right?
Right.
They changed that because if you hang on to that and that woman is raped, you're trying to say that child is now of this Nazi soldier. So they changed their culture and stated that the woman is of the child.
Right.
Whatever the woman is, that's what the child is. That's what the seed is. They've been doing this. You can look this up. They've been behaving like that since the 1930s and 1940s, right? That's part of that's the change.
But that's what I'm saying though.
Our culture has become toxic. Our culture has become poisonous to our people, right? And we refuse to change the culture to make it for it to benefit us. Right now, as we speak, unfortunately, Black culture is not benefiting us. It's to a certain extent, it's hurting us.
It's definitely hurting us, man, because I'm gonna bring up it's these like I think I was alluding to it earlier, and we went on with the spiel, but I was talking about these YouTubers I follow called Ab and Preach, really cool dudes. One's Ethiopian, the other one's Haitian.
I think I might have heard. It's two brothers and one. Yeah, like it's a
one's
slim
Ethiopian, the other one's Haitian.
I get my
Okay.
wife.
So I follow them, and whenever, okay, yeah, because your wife's Ethiopian, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, all right. So the thing about it is they tackle various subjects, like various. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
actually
pop
the
culture,
subjects they
social
talk about,
issues.
it's needs to be talked about more. I mean, of course, they do like 12, 15, 20-minute videos, but it needs to be talked about more on a grand scale. Now, long story short with these guys, they got into it, a little YouTube beef. It was pretty entertaining. But they got into it with another YouTube channel that's probably about a third smaller than them because they got about a million, maybe a million quarters of subscribers. These guys happen to have a 500,000 subscribers. So
Okay.
it happened where they got called out for um, going back on what they were saying about should prostitution be legal, and then they ended up finding out they were like, capping their audience and everything. The whole thing went out of. The point is, the point is, they ended up being frauds, fake alpha males, fake everything. Like everything that they've been talking about was just, they were just capping everybody. They
Now
didn't.
this,
They weren't
this is Ab and Preacher, or is the other two?
the other two.
The
And
other
it
two.
turns out that their integrity, their level of integrity, is actually a lot lower than they put on.
Then they
They made
portray.
it seem like that they're these stand-up men,
Mm-hmm.
when actually put to the test, no. Now your level of integrity is at a low because now we all see how you truly react to someone calling you out on your book,
Question. Yeah.
you know? And it's kind of sad because they've been losing subscribers ever since they came out. So that notion, I'll bring it back to the black community. The black community, we have to stop with the mind your business mindset. And we do have to start calling out the bullshit. We do need to start calling out the capping. We do need to start calling out because, like you said, it's not to our benefit, it's to our detriment.
We now I'm gonna interject. I agree with everything you just said, and unfortunately, this is a bit of reality, bro. A lot of the things that we do pick up within our people, mind you, we live in a culture where we're attached to white people. So whatever they do and it's popular, to a certain extent, we want to infuse it, whether it's individualism, whether it's, because I'm myself, I can be myself and whatnot. And the reality is that individualism only works when the group of people as a whole are doing good.
Mm,
If your group of people is shitty and y'all distraught and you have all different types of issues, individualism just it's ugly and whatnot. And that's one of the things pertaining to our people. So we have this notion, like you said, mind your business. We don't want to be judged, right? The brothers and sisters from the 70s and beyond, they had no problem being judged because they wanted better for themselves. They wanted better for their community and they wanted better for their people overall, right? They were more group minded, community minded. That's why we had more black businesses. We had strong, thriving black communities. We had more, bro, the studies have shown that black communities in the past were thriving more than the black communities
mm,
now, economically, financially, right? So now in the era of, mind your business, don't judge me and whatnot, like I said, individualism, it's like you can't tell nobody nothing. You can't speak on something. That person is doing something wrong. You wanna see them do good. You want to see them better themselves.
right,
You tell the person something, shoot, they may want to fight you.
right,
Shoot, and if they really throw it off, they may want to shoot you solely because you told them something that they were doing wrong and how they need to not do that. Like I've had people cursing me out and whatnot. I'm telling them like, yo, I mean, this is reality and whatnot. Like, if you around me and you got a child and you're not at least trying to be in your child's life, that's it, that can sit with me and
that's
whatnot.
a hurt piece. That's a hurt piece because
Things,
yeah, that's a hurt piece.
things happen. Now things have to a certain extent. Now things happen, right? To a certain extent, everybody's different. I have family members myself. My older brother, if you watch this video, and he was living his life and whatnot, I mean, having fun. But you bring a child into this world. We didn't come from that. Me and my family, my brothers and sisters, we didn't come from that per se. So it's like we got to do better for our people overall. So I love to see a brother or sister, right, that could point the finger at the other group, at the other gender, but what are you doing internally, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, everybody life is different and stuff happens. Like if you had a crazy baby mom and she dipped out, whatever it may be, it's a struggle. But if you didn't attempt or at least try at least to be involved, that you know what I'm saying?
It's bad because just want to piggyback a little bit on what you just said. You know, we're at this state of mind right now where they believe what's being said, what we're talking about. A lot of young black women, a lot of young black men, even black women and men our ages, they know they fucking up. They know what they doing is wrong, but you know what it is? The minds they don't what they don't believe that what they're doing singularly is going to affect the whole. And it's like, how can you not believe that? How can you not? I said, okay, here's
selfishness. Selfishness is another thing that's running rampant in our communities, bro. Selfishness.
This is a whole lot of selfishness. So here's the thing, right? I said, okay, look at what you're doing as a pile of dirty clothes, right? Yes, one piece of dirty clothing, okay, not bad. Two pieces of dirty clothing, not really. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Well, I'm gonna kick it over here, and the room still looks good. Then you up to 15, 20 pieces, and now it's starting to gain a stench. Right? You got some drawers in there, maybe a towel that's been used twice. Now you got 30, 40 pieces. Motherfucker, you need to do some laundry. Okay, so
you soul searching.
Soul searching. So see, that's how it affects a whole. Because see, whenever you got one black woman that thinks like you, there's 50 other black women that thinks just like you. And guess what? That means 50 people can affect a perspective. 50 people can affect a perception.
I want to inject one little thing.
And that's what's happening.
That's part of the advent of social media. I think I brought that up to you. I constantly say that. If I'm a crazy person, right, I'm throwed the fuck off. I got issues and shit, right? I'm out here living reckless. But I go on to this platform, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it may be, and there's like 100 people thinking like me. Mind you, we live in a country that's close to 400 million people. When I got 100 followers that all think like me, I'm gonna feel like I'm shitting when I eat. So it kind of hardens your stance, even if you're wrong, right? So now let's up the ante. So now you got 5,000 followers. You got 10,000. She may have 75,000 followers. I'm an angry, bitter individual, whether it's a man or it's a woman, but I'm an angry, bitter individual. And I got 75,000 angry, bitter individuals following me.
Passing off that energy.
Now, mind you, not everybody follows somebody because they solely agree with them. Some people do it for entertainment purposes. So out of that 75,000, let's say 68, 69,000 are solely following them because they agree with them and whatnot. There's this one person, yo. I don't want to say her name. I don't want to say her name because she's in Philly now, yo. And she's originally from New York and whatnot. Older black woman and whatnot, right? And she's a militant feminist and whatnot. Any given
like hardcore?
Hardcore. Any given opportunity.
Never met anyone like that. I met feminists, but not like a hardcore feminist.
Like, any opportunity she wants to pile on black men. Bash the shit out of black men. We ain't shit. And it's sad because mind you, I've seen the flip side from men through the women and whatnot. But this particular instance, I want to harp on. on this sister and whatnot, and it's just visceral. She has a large following on social media. She has close to 100,000 followers and whatnot. You know, she's on YouTube and whatnot. And when this video is over, I'll probably text you. I'll text you who this person is.
We gonna start the train on the stop capping shit.
Exactly. And it's
that's
like,
but go ahead. Yeah, finish.
She puts like all the blame of why the black community is the way it is solely square on the shoulders of black men. And I said this earlier in this interview. Like I said, I know for a fact the issues in our community is not solely on one gender. It's multifaceted. It's one, it's 50-50 right now. We both have a lot of shit we gotta do to rebuild our village, right? But to sit back,
I don't think it's fit. I have to like really say I don't think it's 50-50.
I know you.
I don't think it's 50-50, bro. I don't
like
think
you said the B word. I'm happy you said the B word. You said at times you can be biased, and that's why I'm blessed to be how I am. See, I'm objective. I can literally look at. I could take. Remember, I told you in certain times, you know, of the day, whatever it may be, I could be tunnel vision. Okay.
And that's fine. That's what makes you who you are. That's what makes you who you are. That's why, you know, this makes for great content and great context, because you can't agree with somebody all the time. I mean, this is not for that. I don't want my platform to turn to a bunch of tune-up show heads. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't want that.
And I don't want, and there's another thing. I don't want to be a part of the, like I said, I don't want to be a part of the gender war. That's the thing. Like,
well, that war is, I mean, that war can go to 50 caliber. That thing can go from 9mm to 50 calibers real fast.
So, and agree.
Like, that gender war shit is bad, man. It's toxic too.
And it's like, so I was talking about this one particular person when, like I said, she has a large following, and I drive my wife crazy at times. She thinks it's entertaining too. That I'll read comments. So I want to see, like, you know, what type of people. So I look at the comments, and I see how many likes these comments have and whatnot, because that means that this person is saying some foul shit and how much support they have for saying this. I mean, people are like, right. yeah, right? So I'll be reading the comments, and it'd be like this just heinous shit. I'm like, really? Like, wow, like seriously?
They go in on that comment board, man. That comment, you know what? That comment board looks like
how you hate men so much that you pray at your pregnant child that you shoot up at your pregnant child she was want to comment, and it's so funny, right? Because she's a young grandmother. She like 40 years old, and her child is pregnant. She's praying that her daughter has another girl and whatnot, and they don't bring any more men into the world. It was just like this weird shit. Like, you're a whole weirdo. Like, number one, that's another thing, bro. I don't, when I do see these comments, I get disappointed minutely, but ultimately, I look at it like this: that person who's thinking like this, who's leaving these comments, they fucked up in the head. They really are. They probably came from a broken home. You know, dad wasn't around, or if the dad was around, dad might have been abusive. Who knows? But whatever happened to them personally, they project that shit onto the world. So once, like I said earlier, when you have people that go through things and they're just like, all men ain't shit, or all women ain't shit, and it's just like I've in my life I've encountered some dope brothers and some dope sisters. I've encountered some ain't shit brothers, and I've encountered some ain't shit sisters. That's how I look at it. And it's 50-50. Like for every stand-up brother I could think of, I know some stand-up sisters. I'm married to one. But for every ain't shit brother that I've tried to talk to about, you know, taking care of responsibilities and bettering himself, whatever it may be, I can talk to an ain't shit sister that's out there bragging about how much money she getting from her second child's father. You dig me? Or
that's an economy on its own.
You said it's an economy on.
That baby mama economy. Yo, if I tell guys all the time, you know what I tell my son? Cause see, I had to set my son straight one time. He showed me this TikTok. 13, man. He got a mustache. He got dreads hanging.
I remember you and Mike. Y'all both had boys on one. I remember like
right, yeah, yeah. So I mean, Mike's boys is actually a lot older now too.
His son's probably adults now, close to adults and shit.
Yeah, I think his one son's in college now.
God damn, yo.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
it's like that, bro.
Again, everybody is different. I'm 36 years old. I just had my first son and shit. Like,
but you know what though? You in chill mode now. You in chill mode.
But that's the thing. I couldn't. My mental. I don't know how. Me personally, I don't know how good of a father I would have been at an early age because I know I was very selfish. Even though I came from I had a mother and father. Dude, I was partying. I was taking trips. I'm having fun. I'm in the club. I'm in the club.
While you was doing that, I'm rocking the cradle at 21, 20 years old. But you know what though? I love my son. I do. I really love my son. But I know for a fact now, I would make a better father now than I was at 2021.
Because that's something called maturation, development, and growth. Mm-hmm. Maturation, development, and growth. That's why. Now, mind you, the plus side of having a child at an early age is you have the physical energy. You have the energy that you say you're 21. Yeah, I'm 36, dude. He be wearing me the fuck out and shit. He be crawling he be rolling all over. I'm like, dude, like I'm trying to feed his ass. He wiggling and shit. I'm like, shit. Like I got a little changing area over here, but it's like kind of mid-level, so I got to bend over to change him. Every time I stand up, I'm like, oh shit, I'm back.
Yeah, I mean, it was good, man. It was good. You're right. The energy at 20, 21, 22, like, I'm already up. He ain't wake me up. I'm already up.
And that's why I can't, and that's why me personally, I don't want to bring up the J word. I don't judge people that do have children at an early age as long as you do right by them and whatnot. That's the only thing I say. It's a struggle. It's a struggle when you have a child at an early age because when you're young, you know, your financial situation and whatnot may not be there. You know, the mental, like I said, that wisdom, that development, that growth may not be there and whatnot. But you can. It's like you're learning along with your child. You know what I'm saying? As you're growing with your child per se, like you said.
Well, I did, and I mean, like as I was learning not only to be a man, you know, but I was also learning to be a father as well. Like a lot of people say, like, "Oh, you seem like you're a real good father." I got help. I got older brothers with kids. My mom, my dad. I think they just celebrated their 47th year being married.
Wow, awesome.
You know what I mean? So awesome. I can always pick my mom's ear. I can always pick my dad's ear.
You got a great support system.
Exactly. And I got and that's really what helped me a lot. Like I can always pick my brother's ear. I'm like, yeah, well, my son did this nut shit at 9 or 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that about? My brother's like, oh, that's cool. Just make sure you don't do it again. You know? Like, or just, well, dang shit. Wait till you turn 13. You know? And you know,
but in reality, a lot of our people don't have that. That's
what it is. And that's something I had to witness over time. Because you're right. A lot of our people don't have that great support system. A lot of our people did not come from a 2-parent home with sensible parents. My parents,
especially our generation.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah.
And that's what I mean. And it's like, my parents weren't the richest. They weren't the smartest, but they were very sensible. They were sensible. At times, irrational, but mostly rational. You know what I mean? And it's like that. I mean, and then I take into you know, I take into consideration that it was freaking 13 of us. You know what I mean? So my dad's not going to have the same energy he would have for my other brother, or he's not going to talk to me the same way as he talked to my sister or my other or any of my brothers. You know what I mean?
And that's it right there. My parents, my mother and my father both taught me they loved all of us equally, but
differently.
Children are different.
Yeah, you're different. All children do. Some children need more love. Some children need less love.
Some need to be like, that corporal punishment. Others, may not. Others may be like, they may learn from the mistakes of their other siblings. That's why I was like, me being a baby of the family, I used to always look at the dumb shit my brothers did, and when I'd be like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. And if I do it, I ain't gonna do it like he did it. So it's like that is so true and whatnot. Like every child is different. So yeah, like you come from a big family. 12 of y'all, all 12 of y'all will probably love the same by by the parents per se, but y'all had different. Like I said, just they probably reared y'all slightly differently where
most definitely, and it was all trial and error. It was all trial and error. I mean, like it's hard, and then like so being a father now in 2021 with the rise of this Instagram very selfish, narcissistic culture. I mean, you try raising a teenager.
Your son got a cell phone?
Yes, he does.
You on social media?
Raising a teenager in this environment.
Is he on social media?
Yeah. I know. Hey, I know.
You gotta get him off that shit, dude. Yeah,
Here's the thing.
He ain't gonna know TV. Say no. You know, TVs is.
You know what's funny, man? Even though, because like I'm friends with him on Instagram. Right. And I follow. He's like, well,
that's so creepy. That's so creepy to hear. Like, I'm friends with my sons on this.
Well, not because of social shit. Like, I'm watching this motherfucker.
You friends with your son, period. It's just funny to hear. Like, oh yeah, we follow each other on Instagram and whatnot.
I mean, look, honestly,
how we living? Like
these days, bro, that's damn near somewhat the best you. Look, I'm grateful. I'm a very grateful father because I'm a very grateful father. The fact that he's 13 and he still comes to me. He still texts me. He asks me questions about things. I'm grateful for that. Because see, I know how these kids are moving out here. At 14, 15 years old, they're already shooting each other. Do you know how blessed of a parent you gotta be to know that your 13-year-old is exactly where he say he is?
Yeah. And that's the thing right now, bro. Like it's so funny you said that, and you want to keep him on that trajectory. And
as long as he's talking to me, and as long as we're holding conversations, I can be grateful for that because I know the ladder, and I know it could be worse because it is worse. It is bad out here. So the main thing I could do is you have to maintain that relationship. And it is hard work. Yeah, it's real easy to be your kids' friends, drink with your kids, smoke weed with your kids. Yeah, that's real easy to do. That's what I'm saying. That's real easy to do. But are you really being a good parent? Are you really rearing your child to be the best of their best version of themselves?
Everything you just said is also one of the major problems within our community. We have this newfound notion that I'm gonna bring a child into this world, but I'm selfish. I still want to have a good time, right? And I also don't want my child to look at me as like the lame. I want to be cool in my child's eyes. Why? Never. You're the parent. You're the fucking parent. So with that being said, we have too many of our people bringing kids into this world, and they not their fucking parent. They're not a parent to their child. They're their child's friend. Like you just said, they chilling with them and whatnot. They kicking with them. They let like I had a conversation. You know how difficult it is, bro, to get through to a 15-year-old boy. 15-year-old boy.
Yeah.
That's come from a broken home. The mother, 32. You do the math. Boy, 15 years old.
Oh, yeah.
He not in school. He chilling at home with his mom, with his 18-year-old girlfriend, smoking weed, chilling. His mom is allowing him and his friends shoot little rap videos in the basement. Who am I to tell this 15-year-old boy what he's doing wrong?
You're his mom.
No. I'm saying I'm what his mother should be. But with that being said, but reality, this is just a general question. Like, but who am I? Like, he don't give a fuck about what the guy. If his mother is allowing it, who the fuck am I? Man, my mom, fuck you, nigga. Man, my mom, she cool with the shit. Where the dad at?
These kids, they'll shoot you just for even daring to question what their behavior.
So now, with that being said, I can slightly dispute that because like I said, I'm dealing with these young knuckleheads.
No,
Me personally, I've yet to meet, luckily, knock on wood, I've yet to have some young boy try to challenge me to fight me because that's one thing I do. I talk to them and I don't talk down to them because it's something that I mentioned to you prior. I have patience.
Yeah, patience is a must.
I have patience, and also I have informed mindfulness, which is something that I mentioned emotional intelligence, but I didn't mention informed mindfulness. Now, emotional intelligence, it's inward. It's knowing what triggers me. Informed mindfulness is knowing what potentially or just being aware of what may be causing another person, someone else, to behave the way they're behaving. So I have informed mindfulness. I know my people. I know a lot of people out here fucked up. I know a lot of youth out here is fucked up. So I have patience and informed mindfulness. So I'm out here talking to my people. I'm out here talking to these young men. I'm talking to them. What's going on, man? How you doing? Like, I had a young boy. Young boy got tattoos. Young boy, 16 years old. When I had his motherfucking eyes watering up. He was a blubbering baby damn near. And all I did was told him, I looked him dead in his face. I dapped him up, I hugged him. Like, I love you, bro. I was like, I don't even know you like that. I don't even know your last name, young brother, and I love you. I want to see better. He was crying because he probably didn't even heard that shit.
They don't hear it. They're not hearing it. They're not hearing it from the peers. They're not hearing it from, and they're not hearing it from older men.
Exactly.
They're not hearing it from older black men.
So for me telling him this and whatnot, it resonated and whatnot. And he would come through to the community center here and there and give us a hand and whatnot. You know what I mean? And I still link up with him. He's trying to get his shit on track per se. Like I think he's going,
If the opportunity is given and the door is shown to these kids that you can open this door and this door can stay open. This door, you have to, nowadays is like, we have to show these kids that, look, here's the door of opportunity. I'm opening it. See, you can do it. I did it.
They have to see it.
You have to be a rapper. You don't
have to see it.
The baby, a little bit, or all the babies. You can be whatever you can be. You don't have to go down the entertainment sphere. You don't, and that's what I tell people. I was like, look how many niggas be on the basketball court dreaming about an NBA career, or be on the gridiron. Hold on. Be on the gridiron dreaming about an NFL career. Okay, that shit. You literally have a better chance winning the lottery.
Or being attacked by a shark.
Yeah. Or exactly. Yeah. And so like, but see, and then it's like, and then you go to the rap careers. Do you realize what it takes to get to a Drake level, a Jay-Z level? Hell, pick the most up and coming rap artist you know now. That's making maybe 10, 15 grand a show. That's considered up and coming.
Yeah.
If you're making 10, 15, 20 grand a show, that's considered up and coming. So imagine rappers that are making that money and they're still not even considered anything. And 20,000 a show for being on stage for an hour or two, to me and you, regular people, that's money. You're doing good. But even at that level, you're just okay.
Yeah.
I remember Chameleonaire.
Great, smart minds. Dude's a smart brother.
Yeah, real smart dude. Michael Jordan played the shit out of him that time. But that was funny. But just to get back what he was saying, another YouTuber commented on what he was. I think he was on the Dame Dash podcast or something, and he was talking about how um, for an executive. He went to some executive house in Jersey, rich Jersey, and how he looked down on him, how he was making 15,000, 20,000 a show. And basically he had producers, executives, AR reps. This is before Instagram. And this man was making 20,000 a show, still considered up and coming. This executive, white man, looked at him like he wasn't shit. He was like 20,000. He was like, he put down 40 grand on the table and was like, rap for me right now. Do something for me right now. You know what he did? And I'm so glad he did that. He walked away. He walked away. So 40 grand on the table. Now, I'm gonna tell people why, and I sat there and I was like, I know why he did it, but somebody that's trying to do, they would have did it. They would have rapped 16, they would have gave that man 16 bars, grabbed the 40 grand on the table, and that would have showed them like, okay, you down for whatever.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so back to the black community, the higher you go, it's literally it's a longer way down. It's the higher up you go, your fall could be disastrous, and you may not recover from it. Why risk it? Why risk getting all the way up to even a Dipset or Jadakiss or the lock status? And you can fall back on something else. You can fall back by just making $100,000 a year.
Make smart investments.
Make smart investments. How many NFL? How many guys? How many guys? Black men that they got a football scholarship, but their head is in the books because they know if the NFL don't work out.
Look at what's the bull name? What's the bull? Myron Rule. I think he stands out to me when I safety. I'm sure you're familiar with him. He played in the NFL for a couple of years, right? Got enough money for him to do what? Go to medical school.
There you go. Yep.
Brother's a doctor now and whatnot.
Didn't he have a run-in with somebody? She's not a famous actress.
Oh, I think I know you're talking about her. I don't even want to say her name either. And went out, but
because she's horrible.
Light skin chick.
Light skin woman. Yeah, she's a horrible human being. She's fucking horrible as shit, man. Because it's funny you bring up that guy because
I think I know what you're talking about. She got into a situation and she accused him of doing something like
he was sexually harassing her or something, or he said something that she said I wasn't down with him, and I forget her name
to say the same thing, but it was like it never happened and whatnot. And almost was like
okay. Wasn't she on that show?
I never Insecure.
Yeah, Amanda Seals.
I was their name. I
was trying to figure it out myself. Okay, yeah. So she's
her. Yeah, that chick. Yeah, she tried to and it blew up But mind you, she just did it. There was someone else. There was something else and whatnot she did and whatnot. Like you had these women and whatnot that had these fucked up in the head, and the trailer for the King Richard came out. I'm not sure if you saw that or you
right. Okay, yeah.
And mind you, it's so funny. Once again, there's something I just know, just in here. The trailer came out, and then she tweeted, "Why is Will Smith in this? Why is Will Smith playing
the father of what you call it? The sister.
And why is there even a movie about him?
Because
number one, the movie King Richard is based off the self authored book King Richard that was written by Richard Williams himself. The book was written because his daughters urged him to write a story about how great of a father you are and what you did to help us become successful in life, right? And
because there's never any real books about any black fathers at all.
Or anything. It's not to me in today's society. Unfortunately, reality is not a lot of any fucking thing that promotes black fathers and whatnot.
And a good life at all.
Shoot, we're two black dads here on that. That's awesome.
And you man, shit. That's a whole other conversation.
Exactly right. So with that being said, she called Hellfact like, why are you upset that they're doing a movie about this black man? Like, because you want a
very toxic person, man.
But once again, we're talking about. What did I say earlier? That's permeating and promoted within black culture.
Yeah,
toxicity. Toxicity. Dude, if you was to make it so funny, right? If you was to do a YouTube channel where you just visceral and you toxic, you just talking shit, you bashing black women and you occasionally bashing black men, you will blow the fuck up, dude. You have a lot of angry, bitter black men following your ass. Yeah, man, go ahead, fucking tune up show. He let these bitches have it. He fucking tell them, fuck them whores, fuck them thoughts. Toxicity. Not healthy, conducive conversations like we having, right?
Right.
Toxicity is popular right now. And this is another thing. Whatever we make popular, it becomes popular, period, right?
Yeah.
Whatever we make popular becomes popular. That's a fact. So with that being said, dude, toxic is in right now.
Toxic is in definitely, but it's just, I mean, like, all right, trying to fight toxic. I mean, I can go to YouTube right now, go to the now trending, at least 30 videos. It's full of 100% toxic.
Yeah.
100%. And so now, see, we're in this animalistic carnalism of life, right? This aspect of life right now in the black community, in all communities, but more so in the black community, because we're being passed around like a football between various different communities, and yeah, exactly, we're just being passed around, man. And it's at the point where it's like, we really need to get a grip on our reality and what's happening around us and how we're viewed on a global stage.
That's why when you asked me prior, when we was on the phone, you asked me what I think about what's going on in Afghanistan. And I know a lot about what's going on over there. But guess what? I don't give a fuck. I know that this country has spent over billions and billions of dollars over the past 20 years. Billions. I think the number I saw was 500 billion to be exact. Over 500 billion dollars they just spent for nothing. I'm gonna say this again, Sam.
Just to leave. Yeah, right. Just to leave. And then not only leave, but give it back.
To give them weapons, to give them armored vehicles, to give them tanks, to give them bombs. Like that's what because think about it, bro. They kitted up the first American government kitted up the Taliban. Prior to the Taliban, they were called the Mujahideen fighters. Okay. And that's why I reference Rambo, because the third Rambo movie was a propaganda movie promoting the need to support the Mujahideen, which then became the Taliban. We created the Taliban, and then we gave all of this weaponry.
We trained them.
We trained them, and everything that we gave the Afghanistan government, fighter jets, bombs. Guess who's in control of all that now?
They are.
The Taliban.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, the Taliban.
So reason why, so I say all this to say I don't give a fuck, because that $500 billion could have been utilized to help rebuild broken black communities throughout this country. It can be utilized to build trauma treatments within black communities. It can be utilized to help bring back before and after school programs that were utilized by young black people such as us. I had a lot of friends that went to that came from broken homes, so school was their outlet. They had they were getting 3 meals at school. They were getting an early breakfast, they were getting a lunch, and they were getting an after school snack. So
and sometimes some schools they actually had meals. You could go home with a lunch.
They got rid of all of that. You know what else they got rid of? You know what else they could have used that money to bring back? They could have used that money to bring back trade programs inside of these schools. Remember schools like Bach? Bach is a goddamn fucking club now. They turned Bach High School.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's sad what they did to a lot of schools.
So they got rid of all they could bring back. They could use that money to bring back trades to help black people. They complain about black people not. They could have utilized that to bring back. We need more electricians, right? We use electricity. But shoot, HVAC.
Look what happened to West Philadelphia High School.
They turned that into a goddamn
condominium,
luxury apartment complex. So I say this to say that Sam, that's one thing about me, bro. You gonna learn this is our first. But we talk, and even at that private club that we worked at, I'm pro-black. I'm us first. I will always be us first.
Like I said, I have.
People talking about pray when something goes on in another country. You know how many times I see black people putting up pray for friends or pray for Afghanistan. Do they pray for us over here? Exactly. No one gives a fuck about us. Shoot, even we don't give a fuck about us.
And we have to raise awareness.
I give a fuck about us and only us and whatnot.
So
I pay attention to anything, bro. I've been to China. I've been to Europe. I've been all over this world, bro.
So you've seen it, yeah. Like I said, I praise you on, I praise you and brothers that go out their way to, you know what? I want to see this country. I want to see this country. I want to do this. I want to do that. You went out there and you did it. You know what I mean? So honestly, like, bravo, seriously, bro. Like, you went to go see the world for yourself. You did it firsthand. And we all have to do that at some point. We all have to, even if you just go outside your freaking neighborhood. You know what I mean? You got most black people that hadn't even left their own area.
When I was a kid growing up, this is what made me want to travel. Number one, I credit my sisters. Number two, my father. And number three, just seeing the neighborhood niggas and whatnot, just chilling. I would be like, yo, I'm about to go visit my peoples up in New York. New York? What you going all the way up there for? Yo, that's your far shit. Yo, you tripping. I'm thinking to myself, like, if you think New York is far, then I guess you probably think Miami is far as shit too, right? So you probably think Vegas is this crazy far. So you couldn't even fathom making it out to LA. You get less than a third of the US population. And we are a part of that population.
Yeah.
Don't have a passport. I've done the research because that's one of my passion pieces. I'm trying to put together, I'm in the process of putting together an informative travel website, right? Most of our people, less than a third of American citizens have a passport. Compared to other developed countries like Germany, like the UK.
Yeah, they travel.
Like they over 2/3, over 66% of their people have a passport. If you ask the average American, give me your top 5 travel destinations, you know what they're gonna say? New York, LA, Hollywood, Disney World, so Orlando, Florida, Miami, and Vegas.
In the country, yeah.
Those are the top 5 travel destinations to the average American. We don't think, and pertaining to our people, bro. When we do travel outside the country, where we go, Jamaica, it's cool. Puerto Rico, that's cool. DR, that's cool. We go to Cancun, Mexico, that's cool, right? Expand your mind, though. Why don't you take a trip over to the motherland? Why don't you see go to Ghana? There's some beautiful beaches in Ghana. There's some beautiful beaches in East Africa, dude. I'm getting goosebumps, bro. The most beautiful beach I've ever been on was in Zanzibar, man. I'm about to cry. Like, seriously, dude. I wish I was there now. If I could have got, I'll look you dead in the face, bro. If I could have got a $5,000 business loan, I wouldn't have came back home. I'd stayed the fuck out there. I would have bought the land, the material cheaper, got a little construction company build me a bed and breakfast with a room with 2 rooms in the area for me and my family to stay, and or a house with have a compound with a main house.
You know, that's a big thing. What you just said, that's a big thing. What a lot of black people are doing though now. They're going over there, they're getting their little business loans, and they're setting up shop over there in Africa.
and you can still be tied to your people over here. But
Yeah.
ultimately, but for me and my family, ultimately, that's probably gonna be the end game. Cause I'm gonna do anything possible, bro, to help my people out here. I love my people, but if I don't see, and if, I don't like to be negative, I'm trying to put it in words. Based on the trajectory I'm seeing, like I said, I'm gonna do anything possible. Based on the trajectory I'm seeing with our people, bro, it's bad. It's bad out here. And by the time my son, who's 6 months now, by the time he turns 5 years old,
Peace.
I'm out. We out. We me and my
Exactly.
wife, we already have a list of 5 countries looking to relocate to, and when I and the bitter reality is this, man. It's not because no, I mean, be honest, one is because like I know that there's other places on this planet where I can live comfortably. I don't have to worry about my people that look like me that want to do harm to me. I don't gotta worry about systemic oppression. I don't gotta worry about some cracker, any given moment calling the cops on me because he thinks I'm doing something suspicious and shit that could,
Mm-hmm.
in this country, a white person calls the cop on a black person, that could potentially be a death sentence. Um, I don't want my son to go through that. And that was probably, besides selfishness, I mentioned this earlier, I was selfish, that's why I didn't have a child at an early age per se, and I wasn't ready. But the biggest thing, I really didn't want to have a kid at all because I was fearful to bring a child into this world, especially into this country and whatnot. I mean, like as much as America has changed, and it has changed dramatically from this, like I said, from the past. And dude, they don't even want to acknowledge what the fuck is going on in this country. Like right now as we speak, Sam, you like right now as we speak, bro, they're omitting history out of history books. In the state of Texas, they just passed legislation stating that educators don't have to teach the civil rights movement. They don't have to talk about Malcolm X, and they don't have to talk about MLK. Wait, what? So you're literally so we already knew that they whitewashed history in the past, and they already omitted history. Now they're trying to do more because I always stress the importance of our people learning history because you don't know where you're going if you don't know where the fuck you came from, and most of our people don't know where the fuck we came from, bro.
A lot of
We
people
don't know
don't
history.
even a lot of our people don't even understand the process of pontification. You know, that was a major deal, especially during the mid 1800s when the archaeologists when they were finding the artifacts. You know what I mean? They were finding all the African stuff and all the
They were
Egyptology
breaking the
artifacts.
noses off. Like
Exactly. But they
I
called
remember seeing they were bleaching the hieroglyphs to
yep.
make them not
You
look
know
like
why? Because they'll
you,
say
not
because
look like
what they
me, but to
did
look like they were white and tan.
and so that exactly. So a lot of times, see, they'll take an artifact of a figure of like an old pharaoh or just a prince or something, and they'll say, "Oh, well, this is dirty. Let me clean it." And I'm like, "Really? You think that artifact? No, 'cause that's
It
why
doesn't need to be clean. It's
it
just
doesn't need to
fine.
be clean. Why don't you just leave it like it is and
It's
just
an
call it good?
artifact. It's old. Let it have. It's supposed to be
Why
dusty.
do you feel like you need to clean some? See, there's wiping, dusting, and then cleaning, whitewashing, pontification.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
they know that. They knew that. They knew what the fuck they were doing because they were told to do it.
Exactly, and like even Richard Pryor, spoke about it years ago. So it's like I said, I know my history, and I know I wish a lot of our people did, also know the history. Like I think we were talking last week, I referenced, how we had prominent Black communities here in this country, and a lot of them were destroyed.
Mhm.
Mind you, they weren't teaching it to us. Like my mother was born in 1950, right? She didn't know shit about. She didn't know nothing about the Tulsa race riots. She didn't know nothing about Greenwood. She didn't know nothing about Black Wall Street. She knew
Mm.
about the Black communities then. She didn't know nothing about what happened prior to 1930s, right? They weren't teaching that shit. As I said, we live in the era of technology and information. So even I myself, I'm constantly trying to learn stuff. Like I brought up to you last week, Oscarville, Georgia, and I brought that up solely because that was something that was new to me. Like,
right, okay, yeah, okay, yep.
I found out about that. I'm like I said, and I got kind of emotional, reading on it, and just I got fucked up because it was just like, wait, what? They destroyed a black town and built a fucking lake on top of it, bro. Like they're
That
black.
was wild. That was wild when you told me that.
They're
I
black
didn't even know that.
cemeteries, black businesses that are still underneath of this fucking lake, bro. And meanwhile, in 1996, they're having rowing competitions on that motherfucker for the Olympics and shit. They're having Olympic competitions over the fucking corpses of our ancestors, bro. Like this is the shit that took place right here in this country. That, of course, they're not going to want to tell us and whatnot because, Lord forbid, if I have black people being angry and uniting under one front of doing any and everything that's going to benefit and better their people,
So
like everybody else does,
right?
Like Chinese people do, like Indian people do, like Jewish people do, like Italians, like Irish, like everybody else in this country, they link up and specifically do for their people. We're the only group of people that do not do that, and mind you, because we were programmed to. And as we get, and as time went on, and when they white folk, the government have done things to try to keep it that way. By trying to keeping our information, keeping our knowledge, keeping history away from us. Like I'm sitting there, I'm reading about Oscarville, Georgia. I'm in depth. It was a video too. I'm looking like, wait, what? And I'm like, they had the Olympics on this shit. But then the only solace I got from the story, the only solace I got, and it's sinister, but I don't give a fuck. The only solace I got was to hear all the crazy incidents that would happen where white people were partying on boats and they drowning and shit like that. Right. I'm sorry, like that's the answer. That's the ghost. That's the answers. Y'all deserve that shit. Like what? Like you, like I stressed you. Look this shit up. It's gonna blow your mind. I'm gonna look up the most haunted. If you just Google the most haunted lake in America, and you're gonna see that shit. And Google the Oscarville, because if you look that up, they're not gonna tell you the reason why it's haunted per se. But if you look up the Oscarville massacre, you'll see what I'm talking about. And it's always the same thing. It's always a black community thriving, doing better than the poor white community. Because this is a reality. This is I stress people with knowledge. There's way more poor white people in America than there's poor black people. I'm gonna say this again. There's way more poor white people in this country than there are poor black people. But we haven't programmed to think white equates to rich and wealth.
You're right. You're right. This is just. I mean, you can go to Kensington area. Okay.
You see it in our area. We see it here. Fishtown, Kensington, Frankfurt, but on a grander scale, because Philadelphia is a majority black city. On a grander scale, let's look at rural Alabama, rural Kentucky, rural West Virginia, rural Mississippi, rural Georgia. These are what the South. What? It's like shit. Forget the South. Let's look at rural Pennsylvania, because contrary to popular belief, Sam, this is a reality. Our state. And I'm not just saying this shit. Like everything I'm saying, but you look this up. Pennsylvania has the highest concentration of KKK members than any state in America.
I can see that.
Literally, the state of Pennsylvania. So visualize this. This is the state of Pennsylvania. You got Philly over here in the southeast quadrant. You got Pittsburgh over here. And you got Harrisburg in the middle. Yeah. The rest of the state is fucking. The rest of the state is red. The rest of the state.
It's been duly noted. You'll find more racism up north than down south.
And there's reason, and as my homie, and
it's been duly noted throughout the year. You know, yeah. but so here's the thing, Curtis, because I definitely gotta get up in the morning with this moving job.
No, I understand what you're saying. I can go on forever, bro.
Yeah, no, I love this though. I love this, and like I said, this is not gonna be our last time talking. I think we went about a good 2 hours. I believe
possibly maybe more.
Probably more. So I'm definitely going to I'm not cutting any of this. What I'm going to do eventually, I'm going to kind of
chop it up into parts and be like part one, maybe part two.
Into parts, but I'm going to definitely upload the whole thing. The whole interview will be up there, but it will be in sections. It will be like 5, 10 minute, 1 minute, You know what I mean? Because we said a lot got said. Any closing remarks, man? Like, I mean,
no,
30-second range.
All right, yeah, exactly. I'll make it quick. Like I said, I'm just we just two black brothers here, you know, having conversations about, you know, our people and things that we need to be doing to better ourselves. And at the end of the day, we can't expect anybody to help us. We black people in this country, we have gotten to this notion where we look for any and everybody to help us out but ourselves. And there's no one coming to save us. We look to politicians. We beg the politicians. We beg to white people. Like, y'all did this to us. No, I don't expect a person that subjugated me, oppressed me, or a group of people that have subjugated, oppressed me, and to think less of me to help to relinquish the power that they have and help me take the power from them. That's not going to happen. That will never happen. And until we realize that we're going to be forever fucked in this country. Well, yeah, FUBAR. Fucked up beyond all recognition.
Oh, well, yeah, true. And you know, and I just want to thank you again for coming on record with me with this. I know it takes a lot of courage, and I know you don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? You're going to say it anyway, whether I'm recorded or not. But
that's one thing. I don't give a fuck. As you probably heard the term and whatnot, unapologetically black and whatnot. We need to be like that.
You're supposed to be unapologetic about your knowledge, your information, and what you got to say, especially if it's factual, especially if it's truth. You know, you're supposed to be unapologetic. Those are things you are supposed to be unapologetic about, especially if you can prove it. You know, I don't fucking hold anybody's fucking hand. Okay? The same way I'm raising my 13-year-old, if I'm not going to let my 13-year-old son get away with some dumb shit, I'm not going to sit here and let a grown-ass fucking man drinking the fucking dollar Arizona, you know, talking shit. He ain't got no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
Oh god, you stupid.
You know what I mean? It's not going down. I only let my 13-year-old son talk dumb shit. You think I'm gonna let a grown ass? I don't give a fuck. Like, and for a grown ass man to be in his fucking feelings, bitch, grow up. My 13-year-old son got better emotional intelligence than most of the niggas walking around in their 30s. That's a fucking shame.
Good shit.
But you know what? I'm gonna end it right here before I get into another spiel.
One more thing. Revolutionary Vision. Whoever's out there, check us out. Revolutionary Vision.
That's a nice shirt, though. That's a nice shirt.
Thank you. $20 a pop. Like I said, all proceeds go
directly. All the proceeds on where?
Go directly back into the center. Go right back into our.
All right. Well, you know what? I want a shirt. Would you cash that?
Yeah. So tomorrow is Friday. Damn, tomorrow is Friday. So Fridays are every Friday we do our food drive over at our center and whatnot. So tomorrow's kind of a busy day for me. So I'll go over there and check the inventory and whatnot, see what we got. They come in 3 colors: red, black, and green, of course, for the RBG. Red, black, and green. Same logo, but just red, black, and green.
I'll take a black one.
Black one, dope, cool. Probably like XL. You above dude, large. Oh, I fall. You like him like this.
Well, you
like to show off the guns and shit. Yeah. I'm like, you want to like this and shit, like.
I want to be
because this is a large right here. So this is a large. This is a large.
You know what I mean? I don't know. You know, because they're gonna shrink when they.
Think about it, saying you was much bigger than me.
Right.
Yeah, I picked the weight.
You mean an XL?
Exactly.
You mean
on the safe side. Because mind you, when you wash it,
it's gonna shrink anyway.
If you get the large on you, that should turn to an A shirt. I also want to plug. I recently created a GoFundMe for our organization. You know, funding for nonprofit organizations are huge, as I mentioned prior. You know, back in the days, we explicitly, funded our organizations and our movements and whatnot, and we need that to happen. Again, what we're doing for our people, whether it's for the youth, whether it's for the seniors, whether it's to help train people for trades. We have a dental specialist program, overall training at our community center. We're helping people get opportunities, for careers, for employment. But we need assistance to expand on what we're doing and to also keep it going. So we have a GoFundMe. If you just go to GoFundMe, or if you go to my Instagram page, C Without Limits, the letter C dot without limits.
Okay.
You'll see the GoFundMe, or you could just go to GoFundMe.com and search for Hood Heroes Vision. Just those 3 words, Hood Heroes Vision. And you'll see our story and whatnot. And like I said, all donations are greatly appreciated.
Well, there you go, guys. I mean, all this stuff is going to be definitely in this. It's going to be in the bio, right under the. Just go to the bottom of the video. You're going to see it. It's going to be in the bio. Please, please, please support your inner Black community, your urban Black communities. Let's rebuild, not just better, but better tomorrows for the next generation and the next generation after that. We are definitely just in a flux right now to where we can possibly lose the next generation, and they may not even get a first chance. So let's give our next generation the first chance. Let's stop being selfish. Let's start really trying to make it happen. And you know what? The buck has to stop at some point. We got to stop passing the bucket. The buck has to stop. So with that, Curtis, always a pleasure, bro. I'm glad to catch up with you again.
Let me know when you're ready for round 2.
Yo, I'm telling you right now, man, this was good, man. This was really good. And everything you sent me, I'm smashing all that stuff into the bio. You know what I mean? I'm putting all that stuff into the bio, bro.
Oh yeah. Just to boom.
What's that?
Everybody.
Oh, Destruction of the. Look at that. So that's the book, Destruction of the Black Civilization. It could be an audio. Is there an audio version to that?
Possibly. You might have to look up.
I'm not audio version. Sure. I'm gonna look for it because I'm gonna take care of all this over the weekend. So
this should be required reading for every Black American.
Gotcha.
Required reading right here.
I think. Can I get it off of Amazon?
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right. Well, I'll probably end up buying it off that. What's it called? By Chancellor.
Yep, by that Chancellor Williams.
Chancellor Williams. Okay. Yeah. That looks like a good book.
It's a great book. Great book. Great read.
Well, I'm putting everything in the bio, Kurt. But I'm gonna head out, man. It was great talking to you, bro. And enjoy the rest of your night, man.
Love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
Let me know when you're ready for round 2.
You got it, bro. Let's do it.
All right.
See ya.